Family and friends, welcome to Q's on the Move. On behalf of the 37th District Representative, Brother Kevin Amfofo, and the Committee for the Fatherhood and Mentoring Initiative, Happy New Year 2022. Yes, I am Brother Donald Williams II. I'm the proud chairman for the Fatherhood and Mentoring Committee in the 2nd District. Family and friends, the district is comprised of 5 states: New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. You will hear from chapters every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 8:30. We are so excited to resume Q's on the Move podcast that allows us to connect with a new generation of listeners. This is truly the new frontier, the new pathway for our fraternity to stay connected and stay engaged, to share conversations about the incredible work Omega Men are doing across the district with mentoring our young people, especially our young males, and helping men become effective dads that are involved in their children's life. At this time, I'd like to pass the mic to my good friend, my trusted friend, Brother Jeffrey Diggs. He will be my co-host for Q's on the Move. Jeffrey, tell them why we're so excited.
Oh man, this is 2022, and we're getting ready to fire things up, going into our 5th season. It's amazing we've come this far, and we're going to be moving that much further. But before we get started, tonight's going to be a great show. Let me say to everyone that the comments and views expressed by individuals are their own and does not necessarily reflect that of the views of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated or its entities that its guests may be affiliated with. Okay, with that said, let's get the show going.
Hey, before you introduce our special guest, our goal for the podcast in the 5th year remains the same: to inform, to connect, to engage, and to share meaningful information with a new generation of listeners about all the work we're doing in the community. We hope to inspire and to encourage you to become a mentor in your neighborhood, in your borough, in your township, in your community. Well, let's get right into the conversation, Jeff. Take it away.
Okay, well, one of the first things is, we're excited that we're coming up on our 5th season, and we have a new service provider this year. You see, we're on a new platform, and we're excited about it. It's our friends, the Stanton Group, with Mr. Darius Stanton and Nicole Smith in the background there doing some work. And so we're kicking off this one with our special guest, Delegate Nick Charles. And so let me give you a little bit of background on Nick. Nick is a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Nick has been a champion for fatherhood with the state of Maryland. This brother here is really on the move, still in his what is that? Your freshman term, have risen to the position of the chair of the Prince George's County delegation. On the appropriations committee. This brother's really stepping out and serving his community in a mighty way. And we're just excited to hear about what's coming up this year in the General Assembly. What it is that we can, as members of this fraternity, can do, as citizens of this state, what we can do. So some of the things we want to look at is the new voting laws that are out there, and pretty much anything that you want to talk about. You're a guest, and so what's important. So to our audience, let me present to you Brother Delegate Nick Charles.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Brother Williams, Brother Diggs. How you brothers doing today, man?
Great. Now that we see you, my friend, champion.
Listen. I felt like I should have put my Omega sweater on today, man. Listen, I literally just got off the call with the Democratic Central Committee. So you're probably aware that we lost a delegate in District 25, but we gained a new state treasurer. And so Derek Davis, he was unanimously elected by the House and the Senate to replace Nancy Kopp to become our state treasurer. Wow. And it's an amazing time in the state of Maryland. It's an amazing time in Prince George's County, because now what you end up saying is we have somebody at the table. We have someone who is in the room when contract awards are taking place in the state of Maryland. And so it's an amazing thing to have that going on, and to know that former delegate Derek Davis is there fighting for us. And so today we just had to set up, the Central Committee had to select who was going to backfill him. And who we selected as a District 25 team, who we all got behind, was former Councilwoman Karen Toles. So she's a two-term councilwoman from District 7 and represented portions of District 25. And so Karen just unanimously got appointed by the Central Committee, and her name will be going forward to the governor so that we can round out the rest of our team for Legislative District 25. And it's a blessing, because when you look at our team and District 25, it's full of a lot of leaders, man. From Senator Melanie Griffith, she is the number 2 in the Senate and leading the charge, fighting for Prince George's County on the Senate side. Then you have the chair, the illustrious chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, Delegate Darrell Barnes, in District 25. Then you have myself, who just recently become chair of the Prince George's County House delegation. And now we have former 2-term councilwoman Karen Toles. So, I'm excited to see what we're going to do by having this new turnover and delegates in District 25, and having someone new to our team, and I'm excited moving forward as the chair. As you stated earlier, bro Diggs, as a freshman, it's a surreal feeling to have been selected by my colleagues to lead the delegation. And so I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm blessed. And my main focus, during this term as delegation chair is truly, bringing cohesiveness, man, because we truly got to have that. There's been rumblings over the years of the delegation being plucked apart and moved in so many different directions, and folks not moving as a unit. And so my goal is to get us to be a unit. I know both of you former military men understand the importance of moving together as a unit. And me being a veteran as well, the importance of teamwork, the importance of inclusivity, all of those things are things that are at the forefront of my mind as we move forward and this next legislative cycle. And what you probably that was leading me to the next thing is, we're in an election year. We are in an election year, and we have some really hard decisions to make. We have February is the filing deadline, and so we'll know who will be the gubernatorial candidates, who will be all of the comptroller candidates, who will be running for county council across the county and throughout the state, the county executives, who will be running for state delegates, state senate. We'll know all of those positions that will be up for everybody, if they'll have competition or who their competition will be, and it's incumbent upon us as leaders in the community, and especially with you brothers, making sure it's at the forefront of everybody's mind, to research all of the candidates, what the incumbents, research what the incumbents have done. What have you done for me lately? You know that statement, that song,
Yeah.
what have you done for me lately? And so, you need to make sure people understand what's going on, what everyone has actually done that are incumbents in, and what the people who are running to replace or running to fill in a vacancy, what are their plans and how is it going to impact what we want? And Brad Diggs and Brad Williams, you guys know my focus on fatherhood, my focus on making things happen for the community. That's something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and true to our service commitment, as you all are aware. And so here we are. Now we're going into session. Session starts in 2 weeks. Session starts in 2 weeks, guys, and I just had a call the other day. So the brothers we're preparing you obviously for Q's in Annapolis, so we can get the brothers all engaged in this and lay out the bill. So we'll be I'm charged with actually going through and pulling all 4 bills. I used to have the help of my good friend, the now president of the Baltimore City Council, former delegate Nick Mosby, now Mr. President of the City Council. I used to have that help. He pulls 2 and I pull 2, and now I have to find the 4 pieces of legislation that we're going to get behind and truly move forward with as far as how we're going to move towards making things better for us. And you guys know how we operate. We operate off of our cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And so when we move and look at the bills that we're going to be supporting, it has to be a bill that's going to be looking at manhood, which we all know is based on responsibility. What bill are we going to be supporting that calls out the responsibility for our community? What bill about scholarship? What's going to be out there that's going to be impacting scholarship? As we know, that is our most endeared cardinal principle, as we all, show signs of intellect. Perseverance, what bills can we pull together or support that's going to address perseverance and then final uplift? So, I will be pulling those bills together as the final bill deadline. So we have until the 18th until all of the to have a guaranteed bill hearing date. After the 18th, it's a late file bill. So we'll be, waiting until the 18th to make sure we have a strong list of bills to choose from so the brothers can get behind. And so, but Brad Diggs and Brad Williams, you guys will definitely be within the conversation as we're going through the planning process of Q's in Annapolis. But, I want to draw your attention, to the number 1 bill, that was pre-filed, Bill 001. And this is one of those conversations that we truly have to have as a community. And it's the constitutional amendment to cannabis and adult use and possession. To make that a referendum, to go on referendum for all of us to be able to address and put that up for everybody in our community to vote. Now I know everybody doesn't necessarily agree with marijuana usage, but one thing we can all agree to is the impact it has had on our community with the war on drugs and how our community has been disproportionately arrested. When you look at the young folks in our community who started off as young individuals and now they are fathers and grandfathers and who spent time in prison and had their lives ruined over a drug that is now when billions of dollars are being made off of it, and you don't see many black faces within that workforce and within that business arrangement. So that is something that is we really have to understand that is something we really need to focus on. Like how do we plan to make sure that our community isn't pushed to the side and ridiculed and not have the true focus. I had a call earlier today in regards to this bill, and I was with a soror, and she brought up about there's going to be a funding that goes towards youth to not engage in the use of marijuana. And so, as you all know, like the money is supposed to go to the health department, and one of the things she wants to focus on, which I will be truly supporting, is making sure the money comes into the community. All of the work that all of our chapters across the whole state, the work that we're doing within the community, all of the mentorship programs we're having, who better to serve the community but the folks that actually are in the community, are dealing with the children on a day-to-day basis, dealing with these teenagers on a day-to-day basis. We need to make sure that the money is coming directly into our organizations across the state, from the
Yes, sir.
Omegas, from the Kappas, from the Alphas, from the Zetas, from the Sigmas, the SG Rows, the AKAs, the Deltas, from 100 Black Men to the Boule. So many organizations that are boots on the ground already, touching the children already. Who better than to get the dollars to actually be able to take that and turn it into helping keep these kids off? Because we don't want everybody, just because marijuana is legalized, have every child running around smoking a joint. And so we need to have, some level of measure and control where we can, let these children know that that's not the first step to take. And so, we need to make sure we're at the forefront of keeping controls and measures. You already know how our community gets hit. You drive down into any of the blackest neighborhoods and you'll see liquor stores on every corner. One of the new things you're starting to see on every corner, these smoke shops, these pop-up shops where you have them selling cigarettes, tobacco, pipes, everything you can imagine, and they're popping up all over the Black community the same way the liquor stores are. And then with this, you don't want that type of incentivized approach for these folks to want to, now flood our communities with drugs as well. And so, we have to take a multifaceted approach to this, understanding that with the legalization of this drug, we want to make sure that our community isn't disproportionately affected, but at the same time, make sure that our community is a part of the discussion and make sure they're a part of the business model. Bro Diggs, you and I had that discussion before as far as the ancillary services that goes towards that, and why it's so many things in this billion-dollar industry that we need to make sure folks are really at the forefront to get things to happen. Another thing, Bro Williams, you had to say something?
Hey, it's set up. I was, it's a quick hitter here. So I was wondering, as you pivot, we got about 5 minutes. Hey, what does the John Lewis Voting Right Advancement Act, what does that address? Can you take about 3 minutes to talk about what that looks like in our community for the average person? What does it address? You hear it on TV. Yeah, you hear it on TV. 60 Minutes, John Lewis. You hear the name, well respected, certainly honored.
Right. Yeah. And I was just reading up on the actual the John Lewis Act. And so what they're saying here is the Freedom to Vote Act. And I know they're saying the Senate is constantly pushing this, and the focus is make sure that folks have access to vote, point blank. Let's just keep it at the base level. Folks having the accessibility to vote. When you look across the country, a lot of states are moving towards these ID requirements.
There you go.
Having all of these mandates in place. But one thing for sure, in the state of Maryland, we have one of the best legislative bodies, and we've allowed now for people to be able to vote, to register to vote the same exact day. So when, if you're not a registered voter, you can show up early voting and you can show up the day of, or on regular election day, and you can register to vote on site. You have states that are blocking that from taking place. You have, like I said, folks asking for ID mandates in order for you to have participation in the voting process. You need to have ID. We're not mandating that in the state of Maryland. Keeping the polls open longer, having longer early voting timelines. And as you guys know, in the state of Maryland, you guys had the ability to early vote for over a week, correct?
Yep.
You remember those days? If you missed it on Monday, you can go on Tuesday. You missed Tuesday, you go on Wednesday. You got some states trying to limit it, to limit that. And so this goes back to one of the things that I want to focus on as a delegation chair, which is inclusivity. And that's what the John Lewis Voting Rights Act is all about, inclusivity, making sure folks have the ability to vote, making sure folks, as you know, we're dealing with COVID. One of the things with COVID-19, we had to figure out how do you get ballots out to people without spreading this virus. And so you had a lot of people voting directly from their houses. And so a part of that is, folks want to make sure that you can mail in your ballots without having problems. But you have some states saying you can't mail in your ballot. You got to come drop it off, knowing that's going to suppress voters. You turn around and you go, you're scared to get COVID, so you're going to stay in the house, and then you can't mail your ballot and you got to drop it off. People are scared. And so the folks that are putting these provisions in place, their goal is to suppress the vote so much that you end up having situations where you have turnover in government, where the Republicans can take over. And just the FYI, and I know we're a nonpartisan fraternity organization. We got brothers who are Republicans, brothers who are independents, brothers Green Party, and Democrats as a whole. Right. But the reality is, in this state, the state of Maryland, our governor, from my understanding, is thinking about running as a Republican. What does that mean? I mean, running as a U.S. senator. He'll be the U.S. Senate candidate. What does that mean to the country? What does that mean to the state? If he ends up beating Chris Van Hollen and becoming the next U.S. senator, what that does to our community, to the whole country, it gives the Republicans another vote. And what have you seen them do? They are the ones who are trying to change the laws and suppress voters. And so if they have an additional person that will vote in their favor, what does that do to the John Lewis Voting Rights Act? That's the question I'll leave with all of you today. What does that do to that if we get another Republican who can stop the movement of the John Lewis Voting Act?
Great question. Let me just say this, as we come to the end of this segment, again, this is a quick hitter. You talked about goals and it's a beginning of 2022 with this new year. A lot of people make New Year resolutions. I came across a clip with Denzel Washington. And so before we show the clip from Denzel Washington with goals, I'm going to ask you, as we move to a close in this segment of Q's on the Move, what are your two top goals? We'll start with Jeff, and then I'll chime in with my top goals. It don't have to be two, it can be one. And then we'll have Delegate Charles close us out with his goals and sum up this conversation in the next 5 minutes. Jeff, what are your goals, man?
Want to get more involved this year with the political process within the state. Last year we kind of just backed off a little bit because of COVID. But we need to be more active because this is an election year. Yeah. Another one is just simple. Just try to stay safe. Just staying safe. Trying to, hey man, if I can make it through this year COVID-free, I'm good.
Amen.
Amen. also excited about this new year. I kind of sum mine up to strive to be more God-centered than self-centered. I'm going to repeat that. To be more God-centered than self-centered will solve a whole lot of problems, a whole lot of challenges. You know, we're in this new year, endless possibilities lying ahead. We have 361 days of opportunity. Brother Delegate Nick Charles, 360 days of opportunity.
Yeah, we definitely do. And so, was that your two? You used it once and twice.
I pass you the ball.
All right. Hey, listen. Thank you, brother. And so, mine is very simple. I want to get through this legislative cycle with some wins for Prince George's County. I'm stepping in as the new chairman, and I want to make sure within my first term as chair, my first session as chair, we bring some significant wins home for Prince George's County. And then right after session is over with, we're in June. We're going into, it'll be April, but the elections for my reelection is in June. And so I'm up for reelection. And so, I would love to have all of the brothers' support as I'm up for reelection. And so those are the two most important things to me getting into within the next 6 months is having a successful session and winning my reelection. That, my nose is down to the ground and I'm on mission and I'm on target. And so that's what I'm focusing on, brothers.
Very good. Very good. We right there with you. At this time, if you could share the Denzel Washington clip. Hey, family and friends, you need to click the share button on Facebook Live. Share it with friends and family. This is one of the moments you don't want to miss. We're going to just show you about a minute of what Denzel has to say about goals. And got to turn the volume up.
Commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be no Kerry Washington. If it was easy, there'd be no Taraji Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Michael T. Williamson, no Stephen McKinley Henderson, no Russell Hornsby. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day.
Family and friends, that's our time. We thank you for your time. Brother Jeffrey Diggs, thank you so much. Brother Delegate Nick Charles, thank you. The next Q's on the Move podcast segment will be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Nick. Appreciate you, Donald.
Champion.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you so much.